Sex trafficking is ultimately the undermining of an individual's dignity.
Sex trafficking is when people engage in prostitution against their will. Through force, they're beat up, they're raped. Through fraud, they're tricked into doing it, or through coercion. And I think the coercion thing is actually really important. Maybe it might mean that their family has been threatened. Maybe it's that someone is blackmailing them.
It is modern-day slavery. It isn't happening someplace far away. It's happening in our own communities.
It's in every state of the United States. It is, sadly, alive and active and continuing to enslave vulnerable members of society.
It's so unconscionable that we just can't imagine that it's real. And so even when it's right before us, we don't want to see it, and we maybe even can't see it.
Sex trafficking is not an isolated issue from the Jewish community. Jewish men and women are trafficked, and Jewish men and women are also buyers of sex.
The buying and selling of human beings violates one of our core principles as Jews, that every human being has inherent divine worth, and that slavery is immoral and must be fought.
Sex trafficking is a human rights violation, and we all have a responsibility to help those who are hurting in the world.
The first step towards fighting sex trafficking is awareness, becoming aware of the issue that's all around us, that's happening here right in our home communities.
Teach our boys, teach our husbands, teach our brothers that the purchase of sex is absolutely unacceptable.
It's a demand-driven industry, and if we ignore the demand, the side that's bringing in people to be trafficked, then we're not going to win this battle. So our efforts have to be not only focused on helping victims rebuild their lives, but on holding perpetrators accountable for the fueling of the sex trade industry.
We need to look at our systems and see where we're complicit in sex trafficking and what we can do to change it. It's going to take the work of great activists and policymakers and leaders, and also average people like you and me to really make a difference.
Sex trafficking is abuse of the divine image into which every human being was born.
Sex trafficking is heartbreaking.
Sex trafficking is the ultimate violation of a human being.
Sex trafficking is my responsibility to end.
Sex trafficking must be stopped. UJA Federation of New York and its Task Force on Family Violence has brought together Jewish and other frontline organizations to mobilize a Jewish community response to end this scourge.